Good evening, everyone. This is Pine Grove News Live. Welcome and God bless to everyone. Happy Sabbath Eve to everyone. It's Friday again, and it's 6:01 p.m. here on the East Coast on January 10th, 2020. Yeah. Well, thank God or not, but I have no notes tonight. I don't know. It's Friday. I concentrated all day on work, and that's that. I'm not gonna say a whole lot until I get to it, but I guess I thank God all the time for discernment, and when He shows it to me, sometimes I wish that He hadn't. But only because it's very sad sometimes what we learn, about people, about things, people you've listened to or been with for a long time, and then next thing you know, our eyes, normally in the beginning, they're kind of closed off. So, sometimes I guess we do it to ourselves at least I'm speaking for myself, as a type of protection against any kind of emotional turmoil but it's just very sad that I've seen a lot of these things in the past few years. Pastors, just not pastoring. Other things come up in their lives and they take another direction, and you pray for them, but just sometimes it's just too late and they just keep going in that wrong direction. I'm just speaking for myself, though. That's all I'm speaking for. If I listen to someone, I listen to them because of their pastoring, because of their teaching. That I'm always interested in God's word, and because there's so many levels to it. You could read or listen to or hear somebody preach the same things, and you just get different things out of it each time. At least when I read, I do that, Always. There's always other levels. I know a couple sisters in Christ that will admit to that as well, that it's so true. And one of them, actually teaches every Sunday when she can. And you see those levels come out from her discernment, from the Holy Spirit in her. It's just pretty awesome to listen to. So with that, somebody said something about 75 in Ohio. 75 in Ohio over the weekend or something like that. I know we've got a report, according to AccuWeather. It's going to be, it was like 10 degrees the other night. And then, I don't know, I guess it warmed up to about 25 during the day. But, heck, they're calling for 58 degrees tomorrow. Of course, we got rain again all weekend. I hope this is not a pattern this year, because it's not acceptable to have rain both days of my day off, especially during the spring and summer, man. We've got to get out. But again, in any case, Saturday, 58 degrees. Sunday, 63 degrees. This morning it said 65. And, in about 8-9 hours, it's changed a couple degrees. But, somebody said 75 in Ohio. Now, that's a little further north and west. So I don't know if I believe that one. But anyway, it doesn't matter. I don't live there. All right, so let's just get started and find out where we're going when we. So we'll go right to the end time headlines, which we use quite a bit. And their headline here is Israel. Israel reveals a breakthrough laser technology to intercept missiles. Yeah, that's what they're putting out, folks. I mean, the picture, let me go see if we're, I'm sorry, interrupting. See if we're live on YouTube, which we usually are lately. Let me go see if we're there. Sorry, I gotta put it on mute because I don't like listening to myself. I really don't. Any case, yeah. I mean, the picture shows, a big bubble over the military equipment, drones in the air, smashing into this dome. But anyways, Israel may be, obviously they're correct. I mean, we've been talking about these weapons for a while now. And if we've talked about them for a while, they've been around even longer, of course. So now that they're coming out with this, I mean, well, maybe this moon thing, getting back to the moon. I mean, I do agree with that, back to the moon, like they've actually ever landed themselves. I'm sure they've landed equipment there, but I don't know. There's some people that are talking about the Space Force, Space Command, Space Force. Anyway, let's not get into that quite yet. But so Israel, I mean, they're, people who definitely seem to be very more, advanced than most of us. I mean, we've heard twice from them in the past year that they're doctors, scientists, whatever, have found cures for cancer. You don't get too much, chatter after that. I don't know why. I hope they haven't disappeared because we definitely need a cure for cancer. Seeing this stuff in this world, 5G, and just to mention that, and a few other things that are cancer causing. Our environment is killing us. Our technology, somebody said, is killing us. I believe that it is. And there are ways that we can make it safer, but it's too cost effective and they won't do it. While they're making money and tons of it, especially from this 5G, we remember we had this, I guess he was a senator, come out there and state that, regardless of the data, to or, for or against, they are going to be at the ground level, coming out with this 5G stuff, and anybody who interferes with it is going to be in big trouble. Yes. Still here. That, anyways, lots of money to be made. And I got from AT&T, they came out with a 5G map of a couple states and exactly where this 5G is. And sorry, folks, but there are a lot of areas, especially over here on the East Coast, that are just going to be saturated with it. I mean, they're even talking about Bridgeport, Connecticut, where I am. Well, I'm north. I'm in, Enfield, North Connecticut. Bridgeport is more southern Connecticut. But in any case, saturation indeed for this 5G. And there still are, I just, excuse me, I just finished looking at some more 5G information data, people complaining, talking to their representatives. And, what was it, 3 or 4 more children, in the same school with this pole, this, what do you call it? Yeah, with 5G on it, in the schoolyard. and these kids are getting cancers or some other what do you call it, immune diseases. And I think, I do remember, I think they took the poll down. Even after AT&T and other people claim that, yeah, it's within these, EMF, these frequencies are within FDA regulations for, being safe to human beings. Well, just remember that when this Fukushima thing happened and the Fukushima radiation finally hit the West Coast, what happened then? The acceptable parameters, the acceptable radiation levels skyrocketed. They changed it. Right? You remember that? We talked about that. The FDA doesn't care about what's acceptable to them. They're not are they being bombarded with this frequency from this 5G? And according to some people, China coming out with a 6G. Yeah, there's already talk about a 6G already. Oh, maybe that's if 5G doesn't, kill off half the population with these cancers. Which is great because then we could have this great deception come on in. These aliens, these whatever you want to call them, fallen angels come down, with this Project Blue Beam, maybe even Christ coming on the clouds, coming down and saying, you know about the devil, right? Coming as an angel of light. Yeah, all nice and pretty and saying all good things and, curing cancer, right? Yeah, don't be deceived. Use your discernment. Pray for the discernment, please. Christians who are, well, again, that word, people who are following Jesus know about these things. They know about the coming deception, and they'll be able to discern it. So, Israel, yeah, laser beams, yeah, shooting down missiles. I mean, did you watch that one that took down the plane, the Boeing, 737, whatever it was? It was 180 something people, no Americans. I think it was like 80 or 90 were actually Iranian. But anyway, I mean, it's all this crazy missile. And I don't know, it almost seemed like it was like one of those SAM, surface to air missile type things that hook, they kind of latch on to, a heat signature or something and follow it, because this missile went up and went in a couple different directions before it finally started coming back the other way and then hit this plane, supposedly. I mean, I couldn't tell if it was a plane, but it was an explosion. In any case, Iran is still denying it. Even some people are saying that the U.S., had something to do with it. We'll find out, I guess. That'll be talked about still for a while. So there you have it. Israel, they're the ones that are desalinating, ocean water. 2/3 of the planet are ocean water. People are in drought. Australia is burning, and we have all this water off our coast surrounding us everywhere. I don't know what you call it, an irony, a cruel joke. I mean, can we take the salt water and spray it onto a fire? I mean, we do have, a lot of coasts like New York, when 9/11 went up, right? They had fire boats, sprayers that take water right from the ocean, spray it onto these fires, right? They don't carry water on fresh water just to put out a fire. In any case. Yeah, so, well, let's move on. So you'll find that, this one, Pelosi, this is from the week. Give me 1 second. I need to put this up for a second. It's Fair Use Act. Just so there's no copyright thrown at us. They'll do it anyway if they want to. Pelosi set to send articles of impeachment against Trump to the Senate. I heard it was going to be next week sometime, obviously, because it's a Friday already. So that was, we were waiting on that. And of course, the other thing did happen too, that thing passed, I believe. I think we'll get to it. I don't know if I put it in there or not. Yeah, right here. So, the House passes the War Powers Resolution in retaliation, according to End Time Headlines, of Trump's actions against Iran. Yeah. And you do know, folks, right? Because we talked about this a couple days ago, who John Kerry's daughter is married to. And I'm sure a lot of, the Democrats, maybe even some of the Republicans are, more than familiar with Iran. I mean, they're trying to blame Trump on conspiring or in conspiring with the Russians to rig an election when it was quite the opposite. But in the meantime, the number one state for terrorism, I mean, you got Secretary of State's daughters marrying never. I mean, what was it in our bank for? I know a lot of people put money in our banks. I know at one time Germany, I guess, gave America gold to hold on to or for something and wanted it back, or at least a portion of it at one time a couple years ago. And the United States said no. Anyways, that was pretty funny. And then, all the rumors came up about, Fort Knox actually being empty. But it may be empty. I don't know if it's gone, but it may be empty. They may have taken it all down in their little dumps, the deep underground military bases. They're dumbs. I keep calling them dumps, but they're definitely called dumbs. Yep. So they passed that, and I didn't, let's read the vote. Yeah, I saw that too, but I forgot about it. 224 to 194. So 24, 30 votes over. Favor of the War Powers Resolution meant to limit the trust towards Iran following an escalation in tensions between Washington and Tehran. Mostly along party lines, but both parties had some defectors. 8 Democrats voted against the measure and 3 Republicans voted in favor of it. And I guess they're going to go into. So the resolution, this is one thing I wanted to make sure that you knew too, that it still doesn't stop the president from doing that. And I don't know why, but it doesn't. It says the resolution is non-binding, but is meant to reassert congressional authority and rebuke Trump's decision to take out Iranian General Qasem Soleimani. Yeah, so basically like slapping him on the hand, saying, think twice about doing it the next time or something like that. I mean, their president, Obama, freaking did it with Osama bin Laden, and there's others, Clinton with her, Libya dictator there. Actually, he was doing quite good things for his countrymen. And he was taken out because he wanted to go to the gold standard and stop using the petrodollar, just like China wanted to do. And they got, you remember them, in their some chemical plants or something like that blew up. It's kind of a big thing a couple of years back. So anyways, let's move on. And does anybody know who Marianne Williamson is? Is that the one from Hawaii? Because, I don't know, the picture doesn't look like what I remember. But in any case, she drops out of the 2020 race. So one more Democrat down. And apparently Bloomberg is, kind of admitting defeat already, but he's going to keep, collecting funds or spending money, buying ads just to prop up somebody else. I don't know. Politics. Yeah, and this was a couple days ago. Obviously, I remember that one. 6.5 in Puerto Rico. So this one right here it's an older headline, even though it was dated yesterday. Puerto Rico under a state of emergency after the worst quake in 102 years. And then we go to this one, End Time Headlines update. Over 1,000 earthquakes have now struck Puerto Rico, and authorities say it is being squeezed between two tectonic plates. Yeah, I think, isn't that basically how it became an island? So, the nightmarish earthquake swarm that has been rattling Puerto Rico since last month continues to make headlines all over the world. Homes, businesses, schools, hospitals, and historic structures all over the mainland island of Puerto Rico have crumbled, and many residents are deeply afraid of using many of the buildings that remain. How between that and the hurricane, man? Isn't there some, the reason we went through this hurricane thing when it hit Puerto Rico, what was the reason? Isn't there a scientific lab owned by the government out over somewhere around there where Puerto Rico is? I don't know. I don't know if anybody remembers us talking about that, but that's all I can remember is that there's some kind of lab or secret base or something that is out there. Anyways. Breaking news. Iran shot down. That's not breaking news. Ukrainian airliner with 2 Russian-made missiles. I thought it was just one. They're saying 2. And that actually came from CNN. There you go. Russian-made. So we know about that. Yeah. Anyways, I picked this up. I was going to just read it later for my own personal amusement because, obviously I will never see something like that in my lifetime, at least not like we are looking at it with, in the depth of it in the picture. So NASA's satellite just discovered a second Earth. And I didn't read much because I was going to save it for later, like I said. But so scientists revealed a series of new discoveries made by NASA's Transiting Exoplanet Survey satellite, abbreviated TESS. The telescope had spotted a number of strange new worlds circling star systems near and far. And scientists announced at the 235th meeting of the American Astronomical Society in Honolulu, Hawaii. From tattooing-like systems to inhabited worlds to scary or starry eclipses. TESS has been busy uncovering the universe's oddities since launching in 2018. I have to go to NASA's site and try and look that up. That'd be interesting. I love looking at pictures of, the nebulas out there, and they're actually. Some are actually making stars, supposedly. And this one is, let's see. Is that the one? Yeah, this is the one that I was talking about with the 5G. I'm going to go, I don't know where the map went to. I was just looking at it, but we'll get it again. AT&T provides U.S. maps of 5G coverage while American opposition and lawsuits increase. Yeah, and while they're making this money, and as much as they can, because a lot of these people who are suing are asking for the EPA or whoever to go out and do studies or find the paperwork and produce it, which I don't think the FDA would have done that, or the EPA. They did find it. They would find it. They would probably suppress it. You probably have to go through FOA channels. Whatever the case, they're not going to show you that it's detrimental to people while they're going to make trillions of dollars off of it. So, okay, here's the map. Let's go look at the map. Took a second to load the last time. But in the meantime, there are videos down throughout this, that article about the 3 or 4 children getting cancers, and before they actually started taking it down, even though they said it's not hurting people, but they took it down just because they asked nicely. Anyway, we'll start off with Baltimore, Maryland. Now, I believe it's the kind of the what do you call it? Turquoise, light blue or green. I don't know what color you would call that, but that's the 5G. The darker color is what they call light. I don't know what that is. Is that 4G? 4G light? But anyway, that is Baltimore, Maryland. That is on the East Coast. I don't know if it's actually on the ocean, but so there you go. Now let's go find another one. The 5G coverage and light, whatever that is. But let's go Birmingham, Alabama. Okay, there's 5G there for you in the lighter color, not the white. Okay, and Boston, Massachusetts. Okay, they got that saturated mostly. And we are over here in Connecticut, not too much here. We live over around here somewhere, and that's not in the area, which I don't understand, because there are definitely 2 towers within a 2-mile radius, 2 of them. And somebody had said at one time that these towers have a 20-mile radius. So I don't know why we need 2 of them within 2 miles of each other or less. I don't know. So here's Bridgeport, Connecticut. And this is Waterbury. This is still southern, mid Connecticut, and then down into Bridgeport. So there's Bridgeport. And wherever this is, maybe New Haven area, I'm not sure, but they're pretty saturated. Wow. And Buffalo, New York. Here you got one of the Great Lakes. Buffalo is more upstate New York, not in the city. Detroit, Michigan, pretty much saturated. Wow. They filled this stuff in quite well. Let's see, Indianapolis, Indiana. Wow, big, huge burst right in the middle. Stay away from Indiana. Las Vegas, Nevada. Okay, and you also have one down here, Los Angeles, California. Here we go. Saturated. Everywhere. So watch where these are, and I'm sure it'll change in the future. And just remember, if you hear about cases of different types of cancers, liver infections, autoimmune system diseases, AIDS, stuff like that, increase, then you can point to someplace. Louisville, Kentucky. Okay. was that one? Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Okay. That's not too bad, but bad enough. You're going to have to put up with that 5G. New York, New York. See, here's Connecticut. New York, New York. Stamford. This is still Stamford, Connecticut. So this is where we are, somewhere right around here. Actually, if this is the river, then we're probably over here. If that's the river. I don't know. This is another river, maybe. All right, well. Wow, yeah, there we go. This is Long Island. Saturated. This is not bad considering, I mean, the islands. Yeah, what else we got? Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Okay. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We got those two cities. Providence, Rhode Island. Yeah, we just went past that. And Boston being over here. Massachusetts goes right over. This is Massachusetts probably right here. Rhode Island, small state, smaller than the Connecticut. So, I guess that'll do it. But in this last article, you know, Blumenthal, who used to be the Attorney General here in Connecticut, really messed things up for everyone. Surprised he's not in jail for corruption. And the little girl who pleads her case, you barely make out what she says. And there's a couple other ones I haven't listened to. Lots of information in there if you want. Of course, you know, stopthecrime.net or .org. Try both of them because I don't remember right now which one it was. Stopthecrime.net has a lot of information in that too. And of course, you probably have your own source. Now, I talked about, you know, in the beginning about pastors, teachers, and people, Christians. You know, a lot of people want to label themselves Christians and yet stand up and clap and cheer that a man was gunned down or blew up. I don't care how wicked he was. Maybe I have my own problem, you know, with this, but I don't know. I mean, I believe in God's laws. I believe that you should not be killing anybody for whatever reason. I've met a lot of angry and vile, dark, disturbed people in my lifetime. You know, it still doesn't give us the right to kill them. I don't care, you know. Yeah, I'm sure I'd be a little angrier if it was my wife or my part of my family that was, I don't know, killed in a bombing somewhere, a suicide bomber that was put out by him. Sure, I'd be a lot more angrier. Still wouldn't change my mind. The only time that I could possibly see myself, you know, killing somebody is if they came into my house, if they came into, you know, very close vicinity of me and my family and threatened them, either with knife, gun, whatever. Yeah, then I could kill them. I most certainly could. I would say I could. I think that I could. But other than that, other than, you know, protecting my family, I don't really care about myself. But my family doesn't deserve to be, you know, killed by some loon. And that's not the same thing. Not the same thing. Yeah, I would pay the price for it. Yeah, committing murder. And that wouldn't be murder. That would be self-defense. You know, what do they call it? Preservation? Killing salami, was that self-preservation? I'm sure some people thought of that. But when pastors and teachers come out and they make it their, I don't know, their walk in life, their change in latitude and wherever they're going, for days on end, week after week, and keep bringing this up and keep, I think it's the politic thing. Once you start getting into politics, I don't know, especially if you're included in them. We get, I don't know what to say except that I would rather hear my preachers, my pastors preaching and pastoring, teaching us the Bible. That's what I want from my teacher, pastor, preacher, whatever. That's what I want. That's what I go to them for. I don't go to them so that they can justify, a government official or a government period justifying killing somebody else in another country or across the street. There's no way that you can justify murdering somebody. And that's basically what you did. Yeah, he's done it. Doesn't mean that you can do it. Remember, the Lord said, vengeance is mine, not ours. And please, keep politics and your studies, your following of Jesus Christ separate, because they're not the same. They're not to be linked. Jesus said to give Caesar what's Caesar. He didn't say, sleep in the same tent as Caesar and follow him around and do what he does. That's two different things. I think just keep those things separate, like like we wanted to do it in the beginning. People felt freer that way. A lot of people fled even to this country to get away from persecution from the government on their religions. And so now we're going to have pastors or teachers or whoever telling us it's okay to go back and put the two together again. Are you crazy? It kind of reminds me when Q was out there telling everybody or trying to convince everybody that if martial law came, to accept it. Why would you ever accept martial law? Do you know what that means? Go look it up. It means that first of all, you're going to have a curfew. If you break the curfew, they have the right to shoot you. They have the right to just walk into your house and take your guns. They have the right to walk in there and just take you and put you in a dark, dank hole forever for no reason whatsoever. They don't have to tell you anything. We need to keep these things separate. That's why we need to step out of this world. We're not to be part of this world. Yes, we have to live here. We have to make a living. Well, Daniel kept it separate, even to the point where being thrown into the lion's pit for it. And don't forget the fiery furnace. In any case, that's it, folks. That's all I got. There is an article that I'm not even going to bring up because it's just very vile and it's just some more things that these platforms, for some reason, gotten too big, gotten, power in their minds, which, changes people. The more power you have, the more power you want, I guess. That's what I've heard. And these platforms, they're taking down good standing people and letting other vile entities come out there and express whatever they want to express. Specifically, these pedophilias, these pedophiles, trying to get their opinions out there and even talking about the actual, act. And Twitter allows this to happen. I didn't want to mention the actual, but, they all do it. They let, because these are the days that, the Bible talks about with evil. When evil's there, people are going to think that evil is good and good is evil. That? Well, that's where we are among other places that are in the Bible and prophecy. That's where we are. We're in those times, in the end times, I believe. In any case, with that, everyone, have a great weekend. Have a great Sabbath. enjoy your friends and family, and live life more abundantly. So until we meet again, keep your family close and forgive each other. God bless and peace out, everyone.